GIS News for Monday, May 12, 2025. I am Christian Mitchell. In the headlines, Windward Fish Market officially commissioned and Ministry of Social Development engages with key stakeholders to build capacity. We'll have the details to these stories and more, plus a look at the weather when we return.
Hey parents! We all know children don't come with manuals, but you can step up your parenting game. Join the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Grenada National Council of the Disabled for an incredible series of community engagement. Discover essential topics like child abuse prevention, understanding discipline versus punishment, building healthy relationships, mastering parenting in the electronic era. Catch us in your community nightly from 6 to 8, starting in the community of River Sally on Monday, May 12th at the River Sally Government School, Tuesday, May 13th at the Mount Horn Community Center, Wednesday, May 14th at the Willis Community Center, on Monday, May 19th the Anglican Government School in the community of St. John, and in the community on St. David on Tuesday, May 20th at the Pomeroy's School. Enhance your parenting skills and create a brighter future for your children. Join us and step up today. Brought to you by the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with but a step. So the journey of a year begins with but a sec. 1 second is the difference between old and new. The difference between what you have done and what you have to do. 1 second is the difference between who you were and who you are going to be. The difference between a year of expectations and a year of memories. Awaiting you is a year of opportunities and new moves. Just one final second to reflect. And then we must embrace indeed. I reckon 1 second is all we need.
Welcome back. What was once a campaign promise by the National Democratic Congress is now a reality of the government. The construction of a state-of-the-art fish market in Windward, Carriacou, equipped with the necessary equipment for fish storage and sales. Last Friday, the new modern Windward Fish Market was officially commissioned. The facility will serve not only the fisherfolk of Windward, but also the people of Petite Martinique and the Grenadine Islands. According to Member of Parliament for Carriacou and Petite Martinique, Honorable Tevin Andrews, despite a 9-month delay in the construction process due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl in 2024, today is a historic moment, one with a promise made and kept.
It's a new beginning of hope, a beginning of prosperity for the community of Windward and the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique at large. I'm happy that after 3 years, almost, and of course because of the delay of Beryl, we had a 9-month delay. We are here today to open a brand new, state-of-the-art facility for the fishermen, not just of Windward, but the northern district of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, and of course the Grenadines. And you, the community, you, the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, must be proud for this great work that has been done by your Member of Parliament and your government.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell made the journey to Carriacou to support the opening of what he termed important and timely, and spoke to the quality of work done by the contractors for the completion of the facility.
I don't want this facility to just be a facility to sell fresh fish or to ice fish. I came across a document that was done, I think, either in 1991 or 1990 by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, P.S. Bagwan, and Dr. Stephen Fletcher. That's more than 30 years ago. That talked about the fact that there is no actual fish processing facility in Grenada that turns fresh fish into fish fingers or fish burgers or anything of that sort. All we do is sell fresh fish, export fresh fish. In some instances, we are not even freezing it. And when we have a lot of fish, we drop the price, we dump it or we waste it, we try and export it, and when we don't have, the price goes up, and the fishermen go out and spend an enormous amount of time at sea. So once the jetty is finished, I want to challenge you to make sure that this site becomes the first proper fish processing facility that converts the fresh fish of Carriacou and Petite Martinique into processed fish, such as our fish fingers or fish burgers, because we are importing them now.
Honorable Lennox Andrews, Minister for Fisheries and Cooperatives, spoke of the importance of the fishing sector to the local economy and people.
In the last 40 years, our fish production would have increased by over 600%. Fishing today employs about 1/5 of our labor force. And as we all know, it's an important source, or perhaps it's the best source of protein, because when I was growing up, and I grew up by the sea, we had a saying that after breast, fish is the best. So it's a major source of protein. It's a main source of foreign exchange earnings. And it brings a sense of independence as a people.
Honorable Ron Redhead also attended the official commissioning ceremony. He stated that the gathering should not be seen as just an opening of the facility, but one that marks the beginning of a new chapter in the lives of fisherfolk.
When Hurricane Beryl swept through our islands, it damaged our infrastructure and challenged our spirit. Our hard-working fishing community was uncertain of their livelihoods, already tested by the sea. They were also now threatened on land. Still, it did not break our spirit of resilience and sustainability and the belief in our people that we shall rise again. In fact, today, we are turning the tide for the fishing community in Carriacou after many years of rough waters and poor infrastructure. Today, this state-of-the-art Windward Fish Market, fully funded by the government of Grenada, is now a reality. This facility is not just a market, but a symbol of the resilience, progress, and our government's unwavering commitment to you, the people, not just of Windward, but Carriacou and Petite Martinique.
Next item on the agenda is the completion of the jetty to allow for ease in operations for the fisherfolks and ferry travelers between Carriacou and Petite Martinique. A wide cross-section of stakeholders, partners, technical experts, and members of civil society on Monday gathered at the Radisson Beach Resort as the government, through the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, launched the UNICEF and EU-funded Social Protection Assessment Project in Grenada. The objective to create a stronger, more inclusive, and more responsive protection system for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Miriam Abdu, Chief Social Policy and Social Protection Officer of UNICEF Eastern Caribbean Area, in delivering remarks via the virtual platform, spoke to the resilience of the Grenadian people and her pledge to work closely with partners to ensure better outcomes.
Grenada tells a story of resilience and resolve. From the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl to the ongoing global climate crisis, this nation continues to face immense challenges, yet consistently responds with strength, vision, and a deep commitment to protecting its people. As a small island state, Grenada stands on the front lines of climate vulnerabilities and still chooses to lead boldly. These two initiatives we launched today are more than technical exercises. They are strategic building blocks in Grenada's path towards a more resilient, inclusive, and child-sensitive social protection system. They provide the space to reflect, what are we doing well? What must we do more? How can we better serve the people and children who need us more, especially during crisis?
Senator Honorable Gloria Thomas, Minister for Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, in delivering remarks, said Grenada is a country rich in culture, history, and heritage.
Our natural resources are pure and our people are strong. But we must also acknowledge the harsh truth of our shared vulnerabilities. The ongoing threat of climate change, economic fragility, our geographic location, and the Caribbean region heavy reliance on external markets. These are not distant or abstract issues. These are deeply lived realities of our citizens, especially the most vulnerable, our children, our elderly, people with disabilities, and our informal workers. Our government understands with clarity and urgency that social protection is not a luxury. It is a lifeline.
Director of Social Development, Mrs. Chrissy Worm-Charles, also spoke to the importance of the Social Protection Assessment Project.
For us in Grenada, it is not only a matter of equity and equality, but a matter of survival. It is about our ability to buffer the spillover effects of poverty, crisis, and economic downturns, and about our preparedness to withstand shocks while still upholding the dignity and basic needs of our people.
Advancing social development systems in the context of small island developing states is of critical importance based on the present trends and threats faced.
As we discuss the evolving landscape from traditional safety nets to more inclusive, resilient frameworks, it's important to frame our conversation with a fundamental truth as worded by ILO. Social protection is not charity. It is a human right and an investment in our people. This quote captures the essence of why we are here. Social protection is not simply a response to poverty. It's a proactive system that enables dignity, promotes equity, and builds resilience in our community.
There is a need for international institutions to acknowledge the unique reality of small island developing states like Grenada when shaping debt and fiscal policy. Continuing the news, the People's Republic of China welcomes commendations from Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell on its strategies to deepen relations between China and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC, ahead of the 4th Ministerial meeting in Beijing on May 13th. The meeting brings together foreign affairs ministers or representatives of member states and heads of relevant regional or international organizations to discuss how bilateral relations can be strengthened to boost development and address challenges. On Sunday, during a press conference in Beijing to share updates on the upcoming meeting, Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs Miao Dehu, through an English translator, said Prime Minister Mitchell's acknowledgement of China's level of respect for small island states solidifies the significance of why the developing nation needs to further strengthen relations with the community. Prime Minister Mitchell was the first head of state to lead a delegation to China in 2025.
Prime Minister Mitchell was also given a grand welcoming ceremony by Premier Li Qiang, and they held talks. The two countries also signed multiple cooperation agreements. I remember that during an interview, Prime Minister Mitchell said, quote, "Many times at small islands, we don't get the respect from large islands, but in Grenada-China relations, we are treated with the same courtesy and the same level of respect," unquote. China has all along respected the sovereignty of other countries and the development path chosen by other countries. China always highlights the importance of cooperation. I believe he definitely spoke his mind, and this is also a reflection of the basic characteristic of China-like relations.
The Caribbean and Latin American community, he said, is facing a new period of turbulence that will require cooperation from all members. China has reaffirmed its commitment to work along with the community to promote peace, openness, and inclusivity during this period.
What LAC countries, their peoples, are going to build is their own home, not anybody's backyard. They expect independence, not the new moral doctrine. The Chinese civilization is marked by the pursuit of truth. We never engage in hegemonism. This, I want to emphasize, is that China-LAC cooperation is South-South cooperation. We support each other, and we don't have any kind of geopolitical calculation. There's only win-win cooperation, no winner takes all. There's only openness and inclusiveness, but not exclusion or confrontation. When engaging with LAC countries, China never seeks severe influence, and we never target any third party. Opposing hegemonism and power politics and advocating equality and mutual respect is the common pursuit of both sides.
The Assistant Foreign Affairs Minister outlined what has been achieved so far within the Caribbean and what will be done in 2025 and beyond.
With cooperation mechanisms like Ministerial Meeting of China-Caribbean Economic Cooperation Forum and China-Caribbean Development Center, the two sides uphold cooperation consensus. China is also having more think tanks and universities that have established research center of the Caribbean region, which will provide the intellectual support for deepening bilateral relations. China always pursues the greater good and shared benefits when developing relations with Caribbean countries and attach importance to help with regional countries' development and promote shared development between the two sides. China has already leaped to the second largest trading partner with the region, and major projects agreed by the two sides, including ports, airports, hospitals, and agriculture technologies projects, have been implemented, greatly promoting the socio-economic development of the Caribbean side. China and 6 Caribbean countries have agreements on visa-free policy for ordinary passport holders, bringing closer two-way travels. Going forward, the two sides will deepen cooperation in blue economy, disaster prevention and control, and personnel training and poverty alleviation, thus helping Caribbean countries to raise self-development capacity and delivering more benefits to peoples on the two sides.
2 key documents are expected to be adopted at the meeting: the Beijing Declaration to reaffirm both sides' commitment to peace, development, and cooperation, and a joint action plan outlining specific initiatives in areas such as technology, trade, investment, infrastructure, and Belt and Road cooperation. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the launch of China-CELAC Forum, and officials are anticipating a fruitful meeting as 10 in Chinese culture symbolizes fulfillment. President Xi Jinping will also attend the opening ceremony of the meeting and deliver an important speech. Grenada is being represented by Honorable Andy Williams, Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation at the meeting. This is the GIS News. When we return, WASH launch in St. George Southeast.
Hey parents! We all know children don't come with manuals, but you can step up your parenting game. Join the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Grenada National Council of the Disabled for an incredible series of community engagement. Discover essential topics like child abuse prevention, understanding discipline versus punishment, building healthy relationships, mastering parenting in the electronic era. Catch us in your community nightly from 6 to 8, starting in the community of River Sally on Monday, May 12th, at the River Sally Government School, Tuesday, May 13th, at the Mount Horn Community Center, Wednesday, May 14th, at the Willis Community Center, on Monday, May 19th, the Anglican Government School in the community of St. John, and in the community on St. David on Tuesday, May 20th, at the Pomeroy's School. Enhance your parenting skills and create a brighter future for your children. Join us and step up today. Brought to you by the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Welcome to the Caribbean, a paradise inhabited by millions. But this paradise is facing a new challenge: the impacts of a changing climate. As these impacts intensify, our tourism sector is feeling the heat.
Of course, with increased temperatures, the tourism practitioners can expect a significant increase in the demand for cooling and hydration services. So, for example, persons will be using a lot more AC. They'll be using the refrigerator more, the use of the pools, showers, taking more showers, and of course, drinking more water. The tourism operators should advise their guests about the heat that is expected and actually advise them on how best they can use the resources efficiently.
Tourism sector, it is important that the tourism practitioners are able to sensitize their tourists, their clientele, but also their workers to the dangers of heat.
Together we can protect our paradise. Let's embrace sustainable practices, stay informed, and work together to ensure the Caribbean remains a premier travel destination for generations to come. To keep informed and learn more, follow CIMH on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Welcome back. The community of Petersfield is the latest to benefit from the National Water Access and Sanitation in Homes program, a government-led initiative aimed at eradicating pit latrines and improving household sanitation across Grenada. This follows the successful launch of the program in Belle Isle St. David, which was the first community to receive upgrades under the initiative. The Petersfield project will involve the construction of approximately 28 bathroom and toilet units with concrete roofing designed to withstand hurricanes and provide added safety during natural disasters. A community meeting was held over the weekend with Parliamentary Representative Honorable Philip Telesford and members of the WASH program to engage the constituents. Honorable Philip Telesford highlighted the significance of the program for the residents of Petersfield.
We are seeking to eradicate pit latrines in that concentrated area. We have approximately 28 or so such facilities that we have to build in the Petersfield area. And so this WASH program is similar, responding to the needs of people, because your own privacy, the way you feel about yourself, your dignity, that is important to us, how you feel and how your children feel, right? Because we know that, if you do not have to wake up midnight to go to the bathroom on the outside, but instead you can turn on the light on the inside of your own home, in the comfort of your home, and use your bathroom in privacy, it is good. And that's what we want to do.
The initiative was made possible in part by recent amendments to the NAWASA Act aimed at making water access more equitable and widespread.
This WASH program is really the brainchild of the Prime Minister in his attempt to bring improved sanitation and water access to people that need it.
The MP emphasized that while residents may require other home repairs, the scope of this program will remain exclusively for toilet facility construction. Project Site Manager for WASH in the constituency, Dean Jules, stated that the program is a partnership and as such, community members are expected to contribute. Contractors, including builders, plumbers, electricians, and tilers, will be selected from within the community where possible to keep economic benefits within the community.
We, with UD recipients also, we would ask of you to sign an MOU on that form that you are going to contribute towards digging the sanitation system. If the persons that are going to receive the assistance do not have able-bodied or an elderly, we have made provision where we're going to do it ourselves. The birth of the program or project is basically based on voluntarism. But voluntarism alone will not accomplish the goal that we set. So it's a partnership. So some parts would be volunteered and other parts would be paid for.
Technical personnel for the WASH program is Kellon Mitchell.
What we want to do is to build a bathroom properly, durable. That's basically what we meant by technical. Durable, properly, and safe. That covers all the ground.
The program is expected to commence within the coming weeks. Continuing the news, Grenada recently presented a comprehensive national report on the 12th meeting of the 49th session of the Working Group of the Universal Periodic Review of the Human Rights Council. This meeting was of high importance for Grenada as we reported on the achievements in human rights-aligned laws, policies, and initiatives in development. In her presentation to the fourth cycle of the Universal Periodic Review Working Group, P.S. McLeish Hutchinson reiterated government's continued respect for all citizens and visitors through keen prioritization by the government in the promotion, protection of human rights. Here are highlights of the presentation to the working group.
Grenada follows a structured approach to human rights reporting, with thematic responsibilities assigned to relevant agencies, consultations held with stakeholders, and final reports submitted to the United Nations following our Cabinet's approval. Through initiatives such as the Spotlight Initiative, the government has worked closely with civil society to address gender-based violence, enhance social protections, and support legislative reform. Disability. Grenada has undertaken several initiatives to improve the lives of persons with disabilities, focusing on economic empowerment, accessibility, and social inclusion. Grenada partnered with the Caribbean Development Bank and the UK government to address key issues affecting persons with disabilities. In 2024, the Caribbean Disability Conference held in Grenada focused on community access, empowerment, and inclusion, incorporating recommendations from the Regional Disability Study. 2024 also saw the development of the National Disability Policy and Strategic Action Plan. Throughout 2019 to 2024, the Ministry of Social Development led extensive public consultations to develop a comprehensive disability inclusion policy. The policy addresses access to education, healthcare, employment, and transportation for persons with disabilities. Another significant effort was the Enabling Gender-Responsive Disaster Recovery, Climate and Environmental Resilience in the Caribbean (ENGENDER) project, supported by Canada, the UK, and the UNDP. This initiative provided training opportunities in apiculture, hydroponics, and solar drying to persons with disabilities, women and youth, enhancing their employment prospects and financial independence. A total of 63 individuals benefited, including 37 persons with disabilities, ensuring greater inclusion in sustainable livelihoods. Grenada remains firmly committed to the elimination of gender-based violence and to upholding the rights, safety, and dignity of all individuals. From 2020 to 2024, the government, in partnership with the European Union and the United Nations, implemented the Spotlight Initiative, a comprehensive and multi-sectoral program designed to address gender-based violence in all its forms. This initiative advanced progress across several critical areas, including legal reform, institutional capacity building, prevention and survivor support, and evidence-based policy making. Key achievements under the Spotlight Initiative include legal and policy reform. Legislative assessments were conducted to identify gaps in existing protections for women and girls. These assessments inform proposed amendments aimed at strengthening Grenada's gender-based violence-related legal framework. Institutional strengthening. The Gender-Based Violence Unit was significantly enhanced, resulting in more effective response mechanisms and improved support services for survivors of gender-based violence. Through these efforts, Grenada continues to work towards creating a safer, more equitable society where all individuals, especially women and girls, can live free from violence and discrimination. Education. Grenada remains deeply committed to education as a fundamental human right, ensuring that all citizens have access to free, equitable, and quality education at every stage of their academic journey. Over the years, significant advancements have been made in strengthening education from pre-primary to tertiary levels, aligning national policies with international human rights standards. Education in Grenada is compulsory and free at the pre-primary, primary, and secondary levels, ensuring that every child between the ages of 3 to 17 have access to foundation learning without financial barriers. Recognizing the transformative power of higher education, Grenada has expanded opportunities at the tertiary level, ensuring free tuition at institutions such as the T.A. Mariso Community College and the New Life Organization. Additionally, Grenada has set an ambitious goal of having a university graduate in every household, supported by a landmark agreement with Monroe University. This partnership provides scholarship for first-generation Grenadian students, ensuring that financial barriers do not hinder access to university education. Grenada's education policies uphold non-discrimination, ensuring that adolescent mothers who become pregnant during school are not prevented from returning to the classroom. While the law allows students to continue their education, the Program for Adolescent Mothers, PAM, provides support to ensure that young mothers can complete their studies while receiving care for their babies.
Grenada received commendations from its colleagues for the important human rights achievements made for its citizens.
We commend Grenada's advanced policy on human rights, including its government's commitment to provide national support to the inclusion in the general system of education of children with special needs. We appreciate the efforts of Grenada on the adoption of the Education Amendment Bill, which was passed in 2024, making it mandatory for students to attend school or educational institution until the age of 18. This ensures that all students acquire the skills and knowledge needed to enter the workforce and access higher education.
The Bahamas warmly welcomes the fellow CARICOM delegation of Grenada and commends the country for key advancements in the field of human rights since its last review. These include pension and minimum wage reform, the enactment of the compulsory school age legislation, and the implementation of standard operating procedures to address gender-based violence. We also recognize progress in poverty reduction through the expansion of the SEED program and the launch of Project 500 for affordable housing. As a fellow small island developing state, we note the severe impacts of Hurricane Beryl, as well as broader climate change threats to the economy, housing, and public health. Against this backdrop, Grenada's pioneering leadership in incorporating climate resilience, international budgeting, and in activating hurricane clauses in its sovereign bonds are particularly commendable. We further acknowledge the positive engagement of Grenada with the new OHCHR regional office for CARICOM, including in the area of reporting and institutional capacity building.
The Maldives warmly welcomes the high-level delegation from Grenada to this fourth cycle review and thanks the delegation for their presentation today. The Maldives commends Grenada for its efforts to promote and protect human rights during the review period. In this regard, we welcome the adoption of the National Disability Policy and Strategic Action Plan, which includes measures to support women with disabilities in gaining access to employment.
Trinidad and Tobago commends Grenada, a fellow small island developing state, for the meaningful progress made since the third cycle to fulfill its international obligations under various human rights treaty bodies, despite evident challenges and constraints. We highlight in particular the ratification of ILO Conventions C-138 and C-182 relating to child labor and protection, the passage of the Education Amendment Bill, the implementation of the Minimum Wage Order, and the development of the JUMP initiative aimed at increasing digital inclusion throughout Grenada.
The government remains focused on the path ahead to achieve more of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals through its various ministries and the strategic initiatives towards Vision 75. We take another break. Still to come, the Ministry of Social Development engages with the University of Michigan.
Agriculture plays an important yet underrated role in the economies of Caribbean islands. While not completely self-sustaining, it plays a vital role in enhancing food security. Climate variables such as unpredictable rainfall patterns and excessive heat often cause farmers to face unprecedented challenges.
Where there is the expectation of increased heat, that can affect the development of the crops, of the livestock, as well as for dairy production. We can see a decrease in the dairy production. Heat also plays an effect on human health as well. We would want to ensure that farmers wear protective clothing, make sure that they keep themselves well hydrated, shift the hours, of the exposure outside. That is an option as well that you can look at.
While certain regions may experience prolonged droughts, predictions also raise concerns regarding heavy rainfall, hurricanes, and flooding.
The expected increases in the tropical cyclone activity, those strong winds can have an impact on your crops. That can have an impact on your infrastructure for the farmers, who would have the crops above ground. For those periods of time, maybe you can plant some root crops, that's an option. So there's several things that the farmer can do, to adapt to our ever-changing climate.
Welcome back. A partnership rooted in mutual learning and service continues to flourish as the Public Health Action Support Team FAST from the University of Michigan School of Public Health based in the United States has returned to Grenada to work alongside the Ministry of Social Development in advancing disability access across the island. A team of 6, 3 students and 3 staff members are on island and met with the ministry officials. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Petal Rush, welcomed the visitors during a brief ceremony, emphasizing the government's appreciation for the collaboration.
Happy to have you, and we know we really value the partnership over the years, and we look forward to the continued relationship. We know your focus is on disability access in Grenada, so we have done all we can to ensure that your stay and of course whatever you're here to do would be a fruitful endeavor.
Minister for Social Development, Senator Honorable Gloria Thomas, also extended a warm welcome, highlighting the timeliness of the visit, especially as the ministry recently completed consultations for the country's new disability policy.
It is indeed a pleasure to have the team from Michigan with us again. We always look forward to your coming because we know there's something that we can benefit from. We have just completed some consultation in the formulation of our disability policy. And it is so timely that you're here to see how ready we are to embrace the people from the disability community. We are very open to further suggestions. We are very open to ideas that could enhance the work we do for the disability community and all the facilities that we could put in place to make their life a little bit more comfortable.
Dr. Laura Power, Director of the Office of Public Health Practice at the University of Michigan, expressed gratitude for the warm hospitality and reaffirmed the team's commitment to supporting Grenada's efforts in creating inclusive spaces.
We are very thankful for this partnership. We've been from the University of Michigan in the United States. We've been coming to Grenada for more than 10 years now, and we've worked with the Ministry of Social Development over the last several years. The project we'll be working on this year will build on the work that we've done in the past. We're here with a team of 3 students who we have here. We also have some staff here. There's 3 of us here that come to help and support. We're very excited to be here. We know it's a great learning opportunity for our students. We know we hope it's mutually beneficial. We want to do our best to contribute to the country of Grenada, working on thinking about disability access, and we'll learn what we can and provide recommendations, but also it will be based in what we find from the community, and we hope that it is useful, and we just want to be here to serve, and we're very happy to be here. So thank you again for making us feel so welcome.
The Public Health Action Support Team is scheduled to leave the island on Friday, May 16th. Founder of the Comanchero Steel Orchestra, Dennis Briggy Phillip, on Saturday celebrated his 90th birthday with family, friends, and a new generation of panists at the St. Paul's Hard Courts. Mr. Phillip, who is now part of what is called Chiro's Genesis Group, reflected on what motivated him to start the steel pan band in St. Paul's back in the 1960s.
I always thought we should have a band in St. Paul's. And most of the boys were playing some in River Road, some on the wharf. So I said, now we're supposed to have a good band in St. Paul's. So I started gathering some drums. And then Tiloti Hood from River Road, the band from River Road, a man came to tune some pans for him. And he didn't have drums. So he came by home, I was walking, he took the drums, and he gave us about 3 sets of pans, and this we started. Those days it wasn't as, no. Every band had to have its own tuner. And, well, we didn't have this set of kind of musical tuning as, no. Sometimes wherever I get a note song and good, you'll leave the note there. And so the pans keep turning all the time. Never set to pattern. Wherever I get a good note, yes, we didn't have no musical tutors and anything. We just went by ear.
Mr. Phillips said the band, formed back in 1966, only won its first competition in 1992, and that did not deter them from growing the interest of others to join the band. Despite not winning competitions, the band had very successful tours, taking them as far as Africa.
The fondest memories with all the men is when you used to go on tour. When you used to be on tour. All the boys always say that's the best part of it.
So when you went on tour, where did you go to?
Well, we went the first year we went Italy, Africa, Brazil, Mexico, and so. And some parts, a couple islands in the Caribbean.
And what was that experience like?
Real good, real nice. But most times you go to places and still always feel Grenada is about the best place to be in. Most places you.
John McDonald Bullen and Keith Gilks, member of the band, says the guidance of Mr. Phillip helped steer them as youth in the right direction, hence they are still together decades later.
When the band started in 1966, we had like 5 members, 7 members and 5 set of bands. Philip, the owner and everything, he was one of the members, but he being an owner guy to us because he was employed already. Whereas all the other guys were still going to school. I had just left school, but not being employed as yet. So on Saturdays was our main days of practice. In the evening, we never had time because we were right in this ground playing cricket and football and stuff. And on weekend, Saturday, we go down to the tent. And there was a guy who was he was more of an accomplished man than we were. But he's the one that used to be teaching us, a guy called Jude Basie Phillip. So, brother to the first guy that spoke. And he's the one that teaches us a little bit of musical chords and trying to put things together, teaching us the simple songs like Miami Blue and Island in the Sun.
That man you just saw, Mr. Phillip, Dennis, he was my father. That was daddy. Everybody look up to him. Everybody look up to him. And total respect, you know. It's not like, no, I mean, people just want to be around the steel band for fame. It wasn't that. We were there committed, and the parents gave us the right to go and, you know, do what we have to do, and always show respect, and which we did. And that brought us right around the place.
As part of the celebrations, the Junior Steel Orchestras rendered a few selections. The weather for this evening into 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The weather is expected to be mostly fair, increasing in cloudiness with light to moderate showers. Winds will blow east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas are expected to be moderate to rough, with waves 6 to 9 feet in northeasterly to easterly swell. Please be advised that a marine advisory remains in effect. Tomorrow's sunrise will be at 5:43 a.m. This brings us to the end of the GIS News for Monday, May 12th, 2025. I am Krista Mitchell saying thank you for joining us.